This is Vinyl 4. Craig, Shawn, here we go.
Coming at you live.
Coming at you live, ready. Round 11. And we're almost through our third Sweet 16. I love it, man. It's been so much fun. We had our
Yep.
big Vinyl 4 list roll out last week. We're going to jump in here. Craig, do you want to rattle off last week's Vinyl 4, how we ended up?
Sure. Yeah, so our Vinyl 4 from last week is as follows. Number 98, Elvis Costello, this year's model. Then I had D'Angelo's Voodoo. That came in at 482. Then we had a record I think you guys will know, the Beatles, Rubber Soul. That came in at 5. That was Shawn's pick. And Shawn's last pick was the Pixies, Doolittle, which came in at 228. So that's a good variance. We had 5, 98, 228, and 482. It's awesome.
Yeah. And we had a 60s record, a late 80s record, was the Elvis Costello, what year was that? Was that
78?
78. So late 70s, late 80s, mid 60s, and then whatever the D'Angelo record was, that a 90s? Was that I don't know. That was either 90s or early 2000s.
Early 2000s, I want to say. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
We're going to jump right in. You go first this week. Your first matchup. Number 204, Bob Dylan, Modern Times versus 342, Moby, Play.
This is a pretty easy selection for me. I tell you, some of Bob Dylan's latter-day records are very underrated. So it was nice to see Modern Times get in there at 204. So, I don't have anything against Moby. I just don't know Moby that well. It's not really my type of music. I respect what the heck out of he does. Just what never was really my vibe. So I'm going to go Bob Dylan, Modern Times.
All right. I'm ready.
All right, so we got a good matchup here. This one's tough, but I think I know which way you're going. At number 62 coming in is Guns N' Roses with Appetite for Destruction. That pairs up against Elton John's Tumbleweed Connection, which came in at 459.
I mean, you know how I feel about Elton John, especially that time period. I've already fallen all over myself about Captain Fantastic. I love that period. This is a slugfest. It's a title fight, Guns N' Roses. Yep. But as much as I love Elton John, I got to go Guns N' Roses because I think this is this was the late 80s. This is one of the greatest records of the 80s. It's one of the greatest hard rock records of all time. Stunning when it came out. We all remember when it came out, we'd never heard anything like it. It took glam rock, heavy metal, punk rock, but it still at times had a sweetness to it. It had a Beatles sweetness to it. I think about the song "I Think About You." That's a beautiful song, and the melody is so contagious. They were so good on that record. They were so diverse, but they addressed some really hardcore issues. This album changed everything in rock and roll. So I'm going Guns N' Roses all day.
Yep. I figured that'd be the route you went.
Yeah. Your next matchup, 205, Cream, Wheels of Fire versus 397, Roxy Music, For Your Pleasure.
Okay. So at one point, man, I was really into some Roxy Music. And really, For Your Pleasure was my favorite album. That first album is amazing. Very, very edgy, very gritty. I mean, this was Bryan Ferry at his most visceral. So I'm still going to go with that, but only because Wheels of Fire is one of those double albums that really just baffled me. I think half of it is studio and half of it's live, right? If I'm not mistaken. I just never could cling on to that like I could the other albums from Cream, the seminal albums from it. But I get why it's in there. I love the band. The band was just an amazing power trio. But I'm going to go Roxy Music with this. I think For Your Pleasure is an overlooked album. I'm surprised to see that album here at 397. So let's go with a little Roxy Music.
I love it. That's not what I was expecting from you. I was thinking you were going Cream on that one. So
Yeah.
keeping me on my toes, Craig.
Let's see what you do with this one. I think I know where you're going, but you've got Toots and the Maytals, Funky Kingston. That came in at 381. That's going up against Curtis Mayfield's Superfly.
Yeah.
Which came in at 72.
Let's see. I'm an average reggae fan. You're a much bigger reggae fan than I am. And I'm a huge 60s soul fan. So I wonder where I'm going to go here. I'm going Curtis Mayfield. I love Curtis Mayfield. This isn't even my favorite record by him, but still, it's a really good record, really good soundtrack. Curtis Mayfield is the man. So Curtis Mayfield all day long.
Nice.
Yeah, let's see. Next up for you, 422, which is a various artist, which is Best of the Girl Groups versus 434, George Harrison, All Things Must Pass.
Just stop there. All things must pass. I mean, seriously. I was hoping that would be the first one because, I mean, it is, I think consensus-wise, it is all of ours, mine, yours, Kevin's. Most people I know say this is their favorite solo album from a Beatle artist.
Yep, it is for me.
It is just, and it's a triple album. And I normally am not a big double, triple album guy. I don't have anything against them. It's just I love a concise, get in, get out, 40, 45 minute. It doesn't matter. All Things Must Pass is like a spiritual. It is such a beautiful album. I don't listen to it that much because I'm an album guy. I have to listen to it from start to finish. And this one takes some time. But when you have time, it's the most blissful listen ever. I love this record. It could go very, very deep. Like I said, the only thing that would go against it is just the length. But that shows the testament of how good the music is because every single song is just glorious.
Couple of quick comments on it. I'm so glad you picked it. I would have picked it up if you didn't pick it. It is my favorite Beatles solo record, number one. Number two, one of the reasons I've always had this theory, I feel because Lennon and McCartney were so dominant in the songwriting for the Beatles, George Harrison was storing up great material. He was probably thinking, I'm going to release the best freaking solo album when this band breaks up. Or, when I get a chance to do my solo record, you guys just sit back, just wait. I love this record so much. I can't believe it's 434. I'm calling that's a little ridiculous. That's one of the greatest records of that time period.
It's a travesty that it's not, and I say this as a stretch, in the top 100.
Yes.
This album is a top 50, top 25 record, but this just goes to show, I bet people don't listen to it as much and don't know it as well because they just think Lennon and McCartney, and I'm telling you, Harrison proved it is bar none from start to finish the best. It's just incredible.
So good.
All right. I've got an interesting matchup for you. I don't have no clue where you're going to go on this. You've got the Velvet Underground, White Light, White Heat versus Gang of Four's Entertainment. Velvet Underground, 294, Gang of Four, 484. What say you, Shawn?
You would, not that you'll be surprised by my pick here, but you're probably, like you said, you're wondering which way I'm going to go. I'm going Gang of Four. I went through a phase where I loved that post-punk, that guitar sound, Wire, Gang of Four. Yep. Gang of Four was a little more maybe dancey-er, if you will, if that's a...
Yep.
I thought Gang of Four, they were brilliant. And this was the peak of their career, in my opinion. I love so many songs of this. Natural's not in it, Not Great Men. It's a really good album. It's one I haven't listened to in a while, and this makes me want to go back and put this on the turntable. This is definitely one of those records. Can you imagine was it released in late, I think it was 79. When this album came out, there were dorm rooms in the U.S. and in the U.K. and other places around the world, they were popping this record on and dancing their butts off to this. And just, this is a great album. I'm glad it's in the top 500. So I'm going Gang of Four.
Yeah. Love it, love it, love it. I mean, a change will do you good. I always knew it would.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. For you, 322, Nick Drake, Pink Moon versus 370, The Smiths, Louder Than Bombs.
This is brutal. I wish both of these were matched up with something else because I love them both. We talk about this all the time on the Schizophrenic Music Podcast, The Love of Nick Drake. And I'm not going to front, man. I discovered Nick Drake. I didn't pay attention to him until that Volkswagen commercial came out with Pink Moon. We talked about that. Kevin and I both talked about that moment of hearing that song. It's not my favorite Nick Drake album. I think, honestly, Five Leaves Left is probably my favorite, but Pink Moon is a phenomenal, phenomenal record. From start to finish, it's better than Louder Than Bombs, and I love the Smiths, so I'm going Nick Drake.
That's a tough choice. Well, you get the first in the redemption round. You get to pick something up, so maybe you can figure something out there. And if you don't, I may figure out something for you.
All right, the last matchup of the evening. This one's tough too, and this one we talk about the pairing sometimes, how they match up.
This is unbelievable. This is unreal.
This is hilarious.
This is almost as weird as the Radiohead versus Radiohead. This matchup, in terms of just random numbers that this came up.
And seminal punk. This is seminal punk right here. 215 New York Dolls, their self-titled album, versus 106 Ramones, Rocket to Russia.
New York's New York Dolls versus New York's Ramones, right?
Right, man.
It's unreal that these two got matched up. Well, I'm going to blow right through this. I'm not a huge New York Dolls fan. I never have been. I tried. I get it, but and they had this look and everything that was really cool and crazy. But come on, man. This Ramones record I think it's one of the greatest punk records. And I know it, when I even listen to it, there's a lot of punk records that I don't love that people would say, oh, you got to go listen to Dead Boys or, there's so many other punk records. But to me, this was punk rock that anyone could love. And the songs on here, when you think about Rockaway Beach or, Do You Want to Dance? Are you kidding me? I love this record so much. Sheena is a punk rocker, of course, is on here. Love this album. It's probably my second favorite Ramones album. So it's an easy choice for me. Ramones all day.
Yeah, I flip-flop between that one and the self-titled album. Those two are just classics.
Yep.
I think Rocket to Russia might be my favorite, but it just depends on the day. I would go that direction too, and I do really like the New York Dolls, so that's a tough pick, but I would have gone the same way.
They were rolling at this point with their songs. I can't imagine how cool it would have been to have seen them play back in the 76, 77 time frame. That would have been.
Think about who they were playing against and the bands that they're playing with at CBGBs and stuff, and they're playing basically doo-wop punk.
Yeah. That's such a great way to put it. Doo-wop punk. They were so unique in that they took punk rock and every song almost has that element of sort of a 50s vibe to it, the 50s, early 60s vibe. Just incredible. So unique, man.
Yep.
All right, we have our redemption round, and you get to go first. I will go back and let me read through our cast-offs here. And I say this every week, but I'll probably continue to say it for a couple of more episodes at least. But as a reminder, if you're a first-time listener, we're going to whittle our way down to a vinyl 4. We're now down to 8. 4 of Craig's picks, 4 of my picks. We're going to run through and get 2 more eliminated on each side. But before we do that, we decided from the beginning that we would have a redemption round because of the randomness of this. It's so hard. Last week, for instance, when I had Rubber Soul versus the Pixies' Doolittle, 2 of my favorite albums of all time, I had to pick one, but fortunately, I was able to pick up Pixies in the redemption round, and that ended up being my two records. So I'm glad that we do this because it gives us an opportunity to pull something back. Craig this week went first, so he also gets the first pick for the redemption round. So let me go through the cast-offs. These are the 8 that Craig could pull one back from. I'll go through them quickly here. We have Moby Play, Elton John, Tumbleweed Connection, Cream, Wheels of Fire, Toots and the Maytals, Funky Kingston, various artists, the best of the girl groups, Velvet Underground, White Light, White Heat, The Smiths, Louder Than Bombs, and New York Dolls, self-titled New York Dolls. Your 4 are Bob Dylan that you have right now, Bob Dylan, Modern Times, Roxy Music, For Your Pleasure, George Harrison, All Things Must Pass, and the Smith and Nick Drake, Pink Moon.
Well, I'm definitely going to switch one out. I'm debating between Roxy and Bob Dylan. I'm going to go Bob Dylan only because Bob Dylan did better records. As much as I do like Modern Times a lot. And I think that Roxy Music, For Your Pleasure, is probably my favorite, maybe their best record. It's definitely up there. So I'm going to switch out Bob Dylan, Modern Times. Man, this is tough because there's 2 albums I really want. I got to go with my favorite Elton John record. I'm going with Tumbleweed Connection. As hard as it is not to pick up Louder Than Bombs, I'm telling you, Tumbleweed Connection's just different, guys. It is a different... If you do not know this album, I highly encourage you to listen to it, especially if you're just kind of lukewarm on the hits or you feel like you've got Elton John pegged. You don't. Like, this is an album. Captain Fantastic was another one. Blue Moves. I mean, there's just so many albums that he put out where he changed pace. You just don't hear a lot of it because a lot of that stuff aren't the hits. And Tumbleweed Connection is just an absolutely... There's so many great moments on that record. So I got to go Elton John, Tumbleweed Connection, switching that out for the Bob Dylan Modern Times.
I love it. How can you go wrong there? I mean, the other record that already made it all the way through to the Vinyl 4, one of the rounds, also was Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah.
Just, he was on an absolute roll. Gosh, I love this. We talked about it before, but Elton John and Stevie Wonder during this time period were just cranking out one great record after the next.
Yeah. I'm such a huge Stevie fan, and I have been since I was a kid. I'm starting to recognize, because listening to albums, how much I really love Elton John too. And this, to me, from start to finish, to me is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, for me, I have Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, Curtis Mayfield, Superfly, Gang of Four Entertainment, and Ramones, Rocket to Russia. I am dropping Gang of Four Entertainment, and I'm picking up the Smiths, Louder Than Bombs. I actually, I know that some people go, Queen is dead, Meat is murder. I love this album so much. It's a compilation, but it doesn't feel so much like a compilation because they were taking things from all over. It wasn't like
I think most of it was like some of it was B-sides and some of it was just discarded songs or songs that ended up they had a couple of them, like Hatful of Hollow was another one that was like that too. Louder Than Bombs was the first album I bought from the Smiths, so there's definitely some sentimental value attached to it. I love that record. I put it right up there with the rest of their stuff.
Yeah, so good. Love it. Okay, so now we have our 4 each. We got to get down to 2 more so we can create our Vinyl 4. You get to go first. You got some tough choices to make.
I do, and it's really down to 3 albums. So I'm going to say Roxy Music, first one out. Of course, we made no bones about George Harrison's All Things Must Pass. That's definitely in. So it really comes down to Nick Drake's Pink Moon versus Elton John's Tumbleweed Connection. I got to go with Who I Am. I'm more of a Nick Drake guy. As much as I just talked about Tumbleweed
Yeah.
Connection, and I do love that album. Um, I just Nick Drake to me, his entire catalog, Five Leaves Left, Brighter Later, Pink Moon, absolutely flawless. He's just, and I just think we're just starting to recognize over the last 10, 15, 20 years how incredible he was as a songwriter. So I'm going to go Pink Moon, Nick Drake, and George Harrison's All Things Must Pass.
Ooh, I mean, bangers, both of them. Can't go wrong. That's a tough choice. I was curious where you're going to go there. I'm going to make this pretty simple. I got to choose between Guns N' Roses, the Smiths, Ramones, and Curtis Mayfield. I'm going to go ahead and say Guns N' Roses is in. Congratulations, Axel and the boys. You have made it into the Vinyl Four for certain. So let's get that out of the way. Now I have a decision to make between Curtis Mayfield, Ramones, and the Smiths.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, first one out actually is going to be Curtis Mayfield. He's out. It's not a complete enough album for me. It's just not. I mean,
Yeah.
I love Curtis Mayfield so much, but it's it's not on the same level. Now I got to go between one of the greatest punk records of all time, Ramones' Rocket to Russia, versus
Yep.
one of my favorite, maybe my favorite 80s compilation record, which doesn't feel like a compilation, like we said, B-sides and singles. And I'm going with the Smiths, Louder Than Bombs. It's such a, it was that record that it pulled everything together for me because I'd listened to all the
Yep.
individual Smiths records, but this was the one that I always went back to because it was just banger after banger. And I would put this on when I was traveling and listen to it. So pretty easy for me. Smith's Louder Than Bombs, excuse me, getting choked up. And Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. That's our
I,
Vital
th- I
Four.
think you can't go wrong with it, and I'm right there with you. I love Ramones, and I love, like I said, the self-titled Rocket to Russia. I love those albums. I'm more of a Smiths fan, so I would definitely go Louder Than Bomb. So we got four absolute monsters on this list, but we discarded some great albums. This just illustrates. Follow with us. Keep with us on this. It's going to keep getting harder.
Yes. Speaking of, let's go ahead and reveal next week's matchups. And then
Okay.
we could do a couple of albums that aren't in the top 500 that should be, and then we'll wrap up. Next week's matchups.
Cool.
This is funny. 413 versus 414. So I go first next week. I've got Wire. It's funny. I was just talking about Wire. I didn't know. I hadn't looked ahead. Wire Pink Flag versus Minutemen Double Nickels on the Dime. Next matchup, which is yours, Smashing Pumpkins Siamese Dream. I've heard of that before. Versus Jefferson Airplane Surrealistic Pillow.
Yep.
Then back to me, Tom Waits at 417 Mule Variations versus 426 Graham Parsons Grievous Angel. Next matchup, 355 Billy Joel 52nd Street versus 451 Jackson Brown For Every Man. I have 149 Santana debut record, first record, self-titled Santana versus 202 Simon and Garfunkel, Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. Next matchup, back to some Bob Dylan, later day Bob Dylan, 411 Bob Dylan, Time Out of Mind versus 95 Miles Davis, Bitches Brew. I'm just laughing a little bit there because Craig knows how I feel about that record. Then,
Once again,
how did that end up on the list twice? Roxy Music.
is it for your pleasure?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah,
Hey, live without an Ed here, guys.
you're right.
That's funny.
Is that 390? Let's see. Let's make sure it comes up as
Yeah.
the same. It sure did.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make a quick pivot. I'm gonna make one for you real quick here. Hold on, just
All
two
right.
seconds here.
While you're pulling that up,
Wow.
I'll go ahead and talk about the other album. So it's 343 Depeche Mode Violator. That's a good one. And Craig is generating a new number for us.
Yep. You ready?
I'm ready.
It is 138. And the album is Dr. Dre's The Chronic.
Oh, come on. Just when I thought Depeche Mode, Violator, one of the best albums of the 90s, was in the clear, and then you got to throw it up against The Chronic? Okay. All right, last matchup, and this is yours. Woo. Neil Young, Tonight's the Night, Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti.
Oh,
yeah.
That's not fair.
All right, so those are our matchups for next week. That'll be round 12. Before we finish up, Craig, do you have two albums we'll just do quick mentions of them. I've got two.
Sure.
I'm excited to mention. You got a couple? I know you always have a couple that are hanging out there.
Yeah, I'm down to like 4 or 5 here. I need to get hustling to find some other stuff, but I'll just go from my list here. First one that comes up for me is just an absolute seminal blues record. I'm shocked it's not on this list. I got to go back and look and see how many Buddy Guy or Junior Wells albums in general are in the top list of Rolling Stone records, because it baffles me. But there's an album called Hoodoo Man Blues, and it's Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. Junior Wells on harp, Buddy Guy's, they both sing. Buddy Guy, legendary blues guitarist. I'm telling you, this is one of the best blues records out there. Chicago blues, blistering album, and the two of them just partner so well. They did several collaborations. They collaborated with live. They collaborated on albums on different occasions, but this was the seminal record. You're talking about two legends. So that is a definite shock that that's not on the list. And I'm sticking in blues, man. I'm going to go with Fleetwood Mac. This is Peter Green era. This is the original Fleetwood Mac. Peter Green, just an amazing blues guitarist, amazing vocalist. Then Play On, to me, is bar none my favorite Fleetwood Mac record. It's probably one of my favorite British blues albums out there. It's just absolutely miraculous. You've seen the album cover in record stores, probably didn't know. I think there's a lot of people out there that don't know there was a different Fleetwood Mac, and they're both legendary. I mean, both bands are legendary.
Rattlesnake Shake.
This is where it started. What's that?
Rattlesnake Shake.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's some moments on that record that are just absolutely stunning. There's a song that absolutely, of course, I lose the song title on it, but it's just Peter Green playing his guitar on a clean amp and singing with just this amazing reverb, and it's "Tell Me Anybody." It's amazing. I mean, when you hear it, it's one of those moments where I can imagine seeing him play live in a room. I've seen a guy play my store one time in that environment, and just you could hear a pin drop. And that's how beautiful this song is. It's criminal that I can't think of the name of the song, but just a remarkable album. I'm telling you, that's where I would start if you want to investigate some British blues. It's right up there with that Blues Breakers album with John Mayall, Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton, and Peter Green went on to play with Mayall.
Yeah.
So just a phenomenal player, phenomenal record, and this era of Fleetwood Mac should not be forgotten.
Well, one thing, you might have forgotten the song title, but what we all got for free was a little singing from Craig. So
yeah, you know.
Look, you come on this podcast, you're going to get entertained. All right.
Yeah, might not be good, but yeah.
My two choices. One is so great, and you're going to go, oh yeah, that's that. It's debatable. It could never be in the 500. The other one, you're going to be mad that I'm picking this. You're going to be so mad that I got this before you, or got to this before you. First one is, this will never make the 500, but I think it should. Debut record. I was listening to it the other night. I love this album so much. Keen, Hopes and Fears. I just think it's unbelievably good. It's such, for a young band to come out with this as their starting point. The songs are so emotional, dramatic, so well played. The lyrics are great. There's hardly a bad moment on that record. And I've always just thought it was just such a stunning album. So
It's a
Keen
great record.
is first up for me. Second for me, Craig, because it is that time of year, is a Charlie Brown Christmas, Vince Guaraldi trio.
Oh my God.
It's
Yeah.
one of the, it is,
That's,
come on now. It's one of the 500 greatest records of all time. I know you love it. You have it on your, you have it on your wall right behind you. Yes. Craig, it's one of the greatest albums ever made. It's
hands
so
down.
perfect. I don't care if you like Christmas. I don't care if you like Christmas music. I don't care if you hate Charlie Brown. I don't care if you like jazz music. This is a great, great record, and it's nearly perfect.
It is, there's only one Christmas album. Kenny Burrell's Have Yourself a Soulful Little Christmas comes close for me, but it's the difference between like a 5-star record and then a 5-star record that's been dipped in gold and then molded in platinum.
Yeah,
I mean, Charlie Brown Christmas. Vince Guaraldi is. You should watch this documentary that they did on like 10 things, or maybe like 20 things you didn't know about Charlie Brown. That was not favored. That was not that music. They thought, oh, this is going to be boring, and just it's going to drag things down, and it ended up being a huge hit, and it ended up being a classic. And he discovered Vince Guaraldi by listening to an album that I love called Cast Your Fate to the Wind. It's called Jazz Impressions of Black Orpheus. Phenomenal, phenomenal jazz record. You know Vince Guaraldi when you hear him. He's one of the most distinctive piano players ever. It is perfect for the soundtrack. Everything else that followed that same template. So the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, all that stuff followed that same. That's why you always hear Linus and Lucy.
yeah.
I absolutely adore this record. I'm glad you picked it. I'm glad you love it as much as I do, because to me, it's flawless. It's not only my favorite Christmas record, it is a top 5 of jazz record of all time.
Yeah, it's easily in my top 100 albums of all time. I never get tired of listening to it. And I've listened to it before when it wasn't even close to Christmas time. Have you done that? I've listened to it
Oh,
before in the
absolutely.
middle of the year.
Yeah.
I just love it so much.
Yeah, when you hear Vince, you know it. You
Yeah.
just absolutely know him. You get a chance, the family, listen to Jazz Impressions of Black Orpheus. It's the single off of it is called Cast Your Fate to the Wind. You guys will love that album because his style translates to seasonal or non-seasonal. Like you said, you can play that album in winter. I don't know if I would play it in the summer, but you can play it in fall and winter when it's not Christmas time,
Yeah.
and it just fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you picked that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I thought about that
Hey,
earlier.
the song, by the way, just to let you guys know, "Showbiz Blues" is the
Showbiz
song I was
Blues.
talking
All
about
right.
that I butchered singing. Check that out.
Sounded
Vince
pretty good to
Leon.
me, Craig. But yeah, I'll go listen to it. Showbiz Blues. I love it. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Well, it's a wrap. Round 11. Coming back next
Yeah.
episode, round 12, which will be our third. At the end of that will be our third round of Sweet 16. So we're plowing through the list. Before we know it, we're going to be finished with all of our first rounds, and we're going to end up with all of our Vinyl Fours, which is going to be
That's
phenomenal.
crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone. Keep on listening to Vinyl 4. We're going to keep on rolling with this every single week. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, if we don't get the chance to say it before. Or yeah.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.